The cry of a single infant drew an iron-blooded army on a raid across thousands of miles, all because of an ancient prophecy revealing that he would be the nemesis to end a vast empire and become the sole king of the steppes. The story takes place on a vast and boundless land stretching between Russia and China, the ancestral home where the Kazakh people have survived for generations. However, ever since the time of their great ancestor Genghis Khan, this fertile grassland has become a prize coveted by various tribes. Among them, the fierce and cruel Dzungar Mongols were the most savage. Like the embodiment of war and destruction, wherever they went, peaceful lives were uprooted, leaving behind only scorched earth and wailing. Faced with a powerful enemy, the Kazakh tribes failed to unite. A descendant of Genghis Khan's bloodline would emerge to unite all Kazakh tribes, lead them in resisting foreign enemies, and reclaim their homeland. The wise man Oraz was the most steadfast believer in this prophecy. One day, Oraz was blocked on the wasteland by Dzungar cavalry, and the leading general recognized him. It turned out they were acting on the orders of the Dzungar Khan Galdan to bring Oraz back. Oraz, however, remained proud and defiant. He told them he was not Dzungar and did not need to obey their Khan's commands.
Such words can cause a man's death. However, my orders are to bring you in alive. Take him.
With a command, several cavalrymen charged with drawn sabers. Oraz showed no fear. Agile and skilled, he knocked all the enemies off their horses within a few rounds. Seeing this, the leading general realized force would not work, so he changed his demeanor and pleaded with soft words.
You are wise, Oraz. You know that if we return without you, we could lose our heads.
Eventually, Oraz went with them to the Dzungar court and met Khan Galdan. Galdan had long heard that Oraz could communicate with animals, especially horses, and wanted him to select a peerless steed for him. Oraz gazed at the stampeding herd in the corral. Soon, he pointed out a chestnut stallion with white markings, the best in the herd and the only mount worthy of the Khan. Half-believing, Galdan mounted the horse and galloped freely across the grassland. The horse was indeed magnificent and fast as lightning, giving Galdan a thrill of control he had never experienced before. Greatly pleased, Galdan immediately promised to put Oraz in charge of the stables and rewarded him with gold, hoping to win him over. But Oraz was unmoved. He calmly responded that gold could neither match freedom nor buy happiness. Galdan's face darkened, and he warned him not to speak arrogantly.
How brightly will my star keep burning?
Piqued, Galdan asked if his own imperial star would continue to shine. Oraz answered meaningfully. Stars also fall from the sky, and new stars are bound to be born. Galdan anxiously wanted to know the name of that new star. Oraz simply said, "When I find him, I will know his name." Oraz was convinced that the savior from the prophecy had already been born.
At that moment, I heard a child crying, and suddenly, I knew that the savior of my people had just been born.
Meanwhile, in Galdan's court, a shaman woke from a nightmare, having seen a terrible omen. The shaman warned Galdan that he must immediately find this bastard spawn and destroy him root and branch. These words confirmed Oraz' prophecy. Galdan immediately dispatched his fiercest general, Cherish, to search for and kill this prophesied Kazakh child. A bloody massacre targeting innocent infants was about to begin. Oraz rode swiftly and finally caught up with a migrating caravan. At a glance, he saw the infant held tightly in his mother's arms inside a carriage. He was the child of prophecy. He immediately warned everyone that the Dzungars were coming. Before his voice had faded, Sharish's iron cavalry surged over the distant hillside like a tidal wave. A brutal battle erupted instantly. The Kazakh guards resisted bravely, but they were ultimately outnumbered.
Give me the child.
Oraz fought his way to the carriage and shouted for the mother to hand the child to him. Cherish's target was that very infant. He personally led the charge, cutting a bloody path forward. Cherish failed to find the infant and returned in resentment. Meanwhile, Oraz had taken the surviving baby, crossed the desert, and brought him before the Kazakh ruler, Sultan Wali.
Assalamu alaikum, Sultan. Dzungars attacked the caravans bringing your wife here.
It turned out that the slaughtered caravan carried the Sultan's wife and the newborn prince. Oraz sorrowfully reported that the queen and her retinue had all perished, but the prince had survived. Sultan Wali, filled with both grief and joy, held his regained son and asked Oraz what reward he desired. Oraz' request shocked everyone. He explained that the attack on the caravan was no accident. There must have been a traitor who leaked the information, as the Dzungars were coming specifically for the prince. Now that they believed the prince was dead, it was the perfect opportunity to protect him. Staying in the palace would make him too big a target, fraught with danger. After a painful struggle, Sultan Wali finally made his decision. He entrusted his most precious possession, his son, to Oraz. From then on, Oraz took the prince into seclusion, deep in the steppe, personally teaching him horsemanship and the principles of life. Oraz also gathered many children from across the grasslands. All handpicked, they would undergo the most grueling training here, aspiring to become true warriors. Among them, 2 children stood out the most. One was Prince Mansour, and the other was his good brother, Irali. Aside from Oraz, no one knew Mansour's true identity. During a tribal roll call, while other children named their specific tribes, only Mansour and Irali simply stated that they were Kazakhs.
Don't you know the name of your tribe?
Mansour and I say Kazakh.
You have trained good students.
Well done. Let's move on to our next lesson.
Under Oras's tutelage, the children learned not only martial arts but also history and national spirit. He told them that their ancestors, led by the great Attila, had pushed back Rome and taken territory in China. They were the eagles of the steppe.
And the Kazakh roam from south to north after the spring, together with their herds and flocks. No one has yet written the true history of our people. Only the elders tell of our warriors and their great victories. I want you to know which people you belong to and to swear loyalty to each other.
He wanted the children to know who they were, and they swore a blood oath to become brothers.
Hey, Kazakh! Come out and fight!
Straight?
Time flew by, and the children grew up. Mansour and Irali shared a deep brotherly bond, and a girl named Gaukar also entered their lives. The 2 boys and the girl spent a carefree childhood on the grasslands. However, after a brief peace of 10 years, the powerful Dzungar army invaded once again. The children had grown into young adults and were about to face the trial of blood and fire. At this time, the leaders of the Kazakh tribes gathered to discuss countermeasures. Sultan Abulkhair suggested electing a common leader and allying with the Russians in the west, but the brave Lord Barak immediately objected. He refused to submit to anyone, believing that an alliance would mean the loss of freedom, shouting, "Give me liberty or give me death." The parties argued endlessly, and the alliance once again reached a stalemate. While the tribal disputes remained unsettled, another storm was quietly brewing in the hearts of the young people. At a celebration, Irali fell in love with the beautiful Gaukar at first sight. He tossed and turned all night, his mind in chaos, and poured out his heart to his good brother Mansour about the magical feeling of falling in love. He excitedly described Gaukar's eyes and voice, completely unaware that Mansour's face was growing heavier as he listened, because he, too, was deeply in love with Gaukar. The 2 brothers had fallen in love with the same girl. Oraz saw the sorrow in Mansour's eyes.
I see sadness in your eyes, my son.
He told Mansour that the efforts to unite the tribes had been in vain, and now hope rested entirely on him and Irali. On the other side, Galdan received news that the prophesied Kazakh child was not dead.
I bring news, my lord. One from the prophecy. The Kazakh has not been destroyed.
He had survived, posing a huge threat to the Dzungar Empire. Galdan's imperial star would be extinguished unless he could find this child and end him with his own hands. A greater storm was brewing. Mansour found Gaukar and produced a handkerchief he had found by the swing. It turned out to be hers. Gaukar asked him to keep it, but Mansour said he couldn't because his best friend Irali was in love with her. Gaukar admitted she knew, but she added, "He is my brother too, but I am not your sister."
You have the scent of the moon.
Just as their feelings were warming up, the alarm of the black flag came from afar. War had descended once again. The Dzungar army was marching toward the holy city of Turkestan, burning, killing, looting, and committing every evil imaginable. Sultan Wali and the elders held an emergency meeting and decided to evacuate the women, children, and elderly first. Oraz reminded the Sultan again that it was time for his son to fulfill his destiny. He told the Sultan that only war could truly validate a warrior's identity. The civilians in the city began a mass evacuation. Irali escorted Gaukar away, while Mansour chose to stay and live or die with his people.
Take good care of her.
Look after your sister.
Atop the city wall, the brothers Mansour and Irali watched their shared love depart, deciding to leave everything to fate. Inside the city, the warriors made their final preparations. They heated oil and blocked the secret passages, determined to stand or fall with the city. However, in the evacuation column, Gaukar made a shocking decision. She wanted to return to the city and fight alongside Mansour and the others. The attendant Mansour sent to protect her tried hard to dissuade her, but Gaukar's mind was made up. Unfortunately, they encountered Sharish's troops on the way, and Gaukar and her brother were captured.
Who is he to you?
He's my brother.
If you marry me, I will let him live.
Sharish used her brother's life as leverage to force Gaukar to marry him and bear him true warriors. To protect her brother, Gaukar tearfully agreed. She was taken back to the Dzungar camp, waiting to become the bride of the invader leader. Outside the city, Sharish could not break the defense for a long time. His deputy suggested asking Gul'dan for stronger weapons, but Sharish was determined to take the city with his own hands. At this moment, a messenger was sent from the city proposing an ancient rule of the steppe. Each side would send their strongest warrior for a duel, and the winner takes all. If the Kazakhs won, the Dzungars would retreat. If the Dzungars won, the Kazakhs would open the gates and surrender. The Dzungars sent out their undefeated god of war, Sharish. Arali stepped forward, confidently stating he was ready and asking for his master Oraz's blessing.
I believe you, but Mansour will fight Sharish.
Oraz believed in Arali, but he made a different decision. He revealed to Mansour a secret buried for 20 years. It was Sharish who had personally killed his mother. He mounted his white horse and, amidst the prayers of his people, rode out of the city alone to face Sharish. The duel began. The two fought on horseback, swords flashing and shadows dancing, evenly matched. Sharish was experienced and his moves were deadly, while Mansour countered with youthful courage and superb horsemanship. Their war horses fell in a collision, and the two continued the fight on foot. Sharish possessed immense strength and suppressed Mansour for a time, but relying on his agility and the fire of vengeance, Mansour finally found an opening. He pierced Sharish's throat with his sword, avenging his mother's blood and winning victory for the Kazakhs. The city walls erupted in jubilation, and the Dzungar army began to retreat as agreed. However, amidst the chaos, Arali received terrible news.
The Dzungars have captured Gohar.
Gohar, we have to free her.
Don't tell Mansour.
Before the joy of victory had faded, Sultan Wali finally acknowledged his son. He told Mansour that he was proud of him. Mansour asked his father to tell him the story of his mother. After 20 years of separation, father and son finally embraced tightly. Messengers were sent to tribes across the steppe to announce the establishment of a new leader. The dawn of hope began to illuminate the land. However, Arali decided to leave alone to rescue Gaukar. He didn't tell Mansour the truth, only saying that he had to go. Mansour tried hard to make him stay, asking Arali if he had known about his royal identity all along. Arali shook his head, saying that to them, status didn't matter. They would always be the best of brothers. Arali finally rode away. Oraz did not stop him.
Why didn't you stop him, teacher?
I cannot change his destiny. He was born to help you achieve your mission.
He knew this was Arali's destiny, and part of his role in helping Mansour fulfill his mission. He told Mansour that his task was to become that general star and unite all Kazakhs. Then, Oraz also drifted away, leaving the future to the young eagle. Sharish's death news and severed head were delivered to Gul'dan. He learned of the new leader Mansour, and confirmed that he was indeed the bastard of the prophecy.
They killed him. They call him Ablai.
Abla is Mansour, the wolf cub I told you about.
I will avenge him.
Gul'dan was furious and vowed to avenge Sharish personally. Left alone, Mansour prayed to the sacred tree, asking for ancestral wisdom and protection for his traveling friends Arali and Gaukar. Just then, he fell into a Dzungar trap and was captured alive. Gul'dan brought a more powerful weapon, cannons, prepared to wipe out the Kazakhs in one stroke. The captive Mansour was brought before him. Facing his enemy, Mansour was neither humble nor arrogant.
I see that you respect the customs of the Nomads. But where is it written that a warrior is captured away from the battlefield?
He questioned Gul'dan, asking what kind of respect it was to abduct a warrior off the battlefield. Sharish's brother clamored for revenge but was stopped by Gul'dan. Gul'dan stated that according to nomadic law, a captive descendant of Genghis Khan could not be killed. However, he set a series of brutal challenges for Mansour. If he won, he would be released. If he lost, he would suffer endless torture in prison. While being escorted, Mansour accidentally saw Gaukar's brother and called out the name of Gaukar's beloved horse, Moon. Gaukar witnessed this scene, and her heart surged with emotion. She couldn't believe that Mansour, whom she had been longing for, was actually here. Mansour was thrown into the dungeon, awaiting duel after duel of uncertain fate. With his extraordinary martial arts skills, he defeated several powerful opponents in succession, shocking the Dzungars with every victory. Finally, Galdan challenged Mansour to a task no one could complete: to seize a target on horseback amidst a rain of arrows. Gaukar prayed nervously for him in the crowd. Riding Moon, Mansour weaved through the dense rain of arrows like a white bolt of lightning. Although hit by several arrows, he miraculously completed the challenge. Galdan kept his promise and prepared to release Mansour. But Cherish's family and subordinates were furious and adamant in demanding Mansour's execution. At that moment, an elder proposed that Mansour fight one last duel against the only person who might defeat him.
This is your last fight. If you win, Great Galdan will set you free.
On the eve of the duel, a beautiful woman secretly visited Mansour. She was Galdan's daughter, Karcha. She told Mansour that win or lose, he was doomed to die. Having long harbored feelings for this Kazakh warrior, she offered a way to save him, marry her, and become a prince of the Dzungars. Mansour appreciated her kindness but firmly refused. In his heart, he already held the moon of the steppe. The final duel began. Both sides wore masks, obscuring their faces. As soon as they engaged, Mansour felt his opponent's moves were strangely familiar. They seemed like shadows of each other, every attack and defense identical. In the heat of the battle, Mansour finally found an opening and pierced his opponent with his sword. However, when he removed the opponent's mask, he was utterly devastated. Beneath the mask was his best brother, Erali. It turned out that in his attempt to save Gaukar, Erali had also been captured by the Dzungars and forced into this duel to the death with Mansour. With his dying breath, he told Mansour that Gaukar was also there and urged him to save her. Holding his brother's cold body, Mansour roared in agony. This cruel fate had forced him to kill his best brother with his own hands. Galdan honored his promise, ordered Mansour's release, and held a celebratory feast for him. However, Cherish's mother had already poisoned the wine, planning to kill Mansour. Just as Mansour was about to drink the poisoned wine, Gaukar burst in on horseback. Mansour leaped onto the horse, and amidst the Dzungar pursuit, the two broke out of the encirclement and escaped with their lives. Oraz had foreseen all of this. He knew that Erali's sacrifice was for the greater good, for love, and for justice. By a cliff, the survivors Mansour and Gaukar finally poured out their hearts to each other. Mansour told Gaukar that he loved her deeply.
I wanted to say, I love you.
They embraced tightly under the setting sun, but a far more brutal final battle awaited them. The Dzungar army returned in full force, besieging the city, yet the Kazakh reinforcements had not yet arrived. Sultan Wali was full of worry, so Mansour decided to personally stall for time. In the city, he met an orphan whose parents had been killed by the Dzungars.
What do they call you?
Irali.
Coincidentally, the child was also named Erali. Mansour kept him by his side as if seeing the shadow of his former brother. The Dzungars tore the Kazakh messenger apart with 5 horses and issued an ultimatum.
I give them until morning to surrender.
Surrender by tomorrow morning. Mansour knew that to win this war, all tribes must unite as one. He prayed that the reinforcements would arrive in time. On the eve of the decisive battle, Gaukar gave her talisman to Mansour, urging him to return safely. The next day, Galdan ordered a full assault to raze the city to the ground and bring him Mansour's head. Facing the enemy's fierce artillery fire, Mansour remained unusually calm. He ordered his troops to wait until the enemy was closer. He had blocked all retreat routes. This battle was victory or death. In this critical moment, Mansour devised a plan. He ordered his troops to ignite the oil in the city, creating the illusion of chaos and fleeing defenders. The Dzungar generals believed it, thinking the Kazakhs had collapsed. They shouted at the fleeing cowards and urged their troops to pursue. Just then, dust billowed on the horizon. The reinforcements from the Kazakh tribes had finally arrived. Mansour led the city troops to coordinate with the reinforcements, launching a desperate counterattack against the Dzungar army. The battle outside the walls of Turkestan lasted for 100 days and nights, with rivers of blood flowing. In this fierce battle, the Kazakh people finally united as one, just like their great ancestors, and ultimately defeated the invincible Dzungars. Galdan's son was captured. But Mansour ordered that the child be spared, demonstrating the mercy of a king. The elders presented Mansour with the sword, symbolizing the Khan's power. From then on, the Kazakhs were united in following their leader. After the war, a messenger sent by Khan Mansour delivered a map depicting their vast territory to Galdan's descendants. He declared to the world, "We will open our arms to friends, but show no mercy to enemies." Under the leadership of Khan Mansour, the Kazakh eagle soared once again over the vast steppes, and their legend would be passed down for generations.